Howdy, folks. My name is George. Pardon me. I'm known as a research warrior. Bit about my background. I'm an ex-Vietnam veteran and also a 30th degree Freemason. At the moment, none practicing. Just before I do continue, my Gmail is w.blojepojevvic also, I've a book currently on the Android book app on the phone, and it's called The Alien Revelation. They here, and you better believe me, they are here. My second book is called The Cosmic Research, and that will also be on the Android book app. Whilst I was on leave in Vietnam, I broke curfew, and that was a very dangerous thing to do because at 11 o'clock at night we were picked at a designated spot and taken back to camp because then it was not safe to be in the town at all. Well, anyway, I walked out of a bar and sure enough, there was no one there. There was only myself and this big black yank, and I thought, oh my God, we've done it. And we decided to part and run around the whole town the whole night, not hiding in one spot for too long. And everything appeared all right to begin with, and then somebody yelled out, Uktalai, Uktalai. Uktalai means Aussie, Aussie. And then I heard the whistle, and the whistle was blown by the military police, who were the only police in the town at that time, and they were the Vietnamese police. These police don't like us. They didn't like us at all. We had it off with their women. We didn't respect their culture. We didn't respect their customs. We were killing their people. I mean, you said they were up north and they were down south, but you wouldn't tell the difference. So we were killing their people as well. I decided to run from shadow to shadow, and I thought, no, I've got to hide somewhere this time because eventually they are going to catch up with me. And I took off down a laneway, and I went down as fast as I could, so when I do come back, I'd have time to actually come out. There's nothing there to hide behind. And luckily for me, there was a large bin there, and I positioned myself around the back of it and waited there for a few minutes, and I thought, okay, maybe I should get out of here because I was just restless, I was sort of moving all the time. And then I heard the whistle blow again. It was much closer, and I looked around the corner, and lo and behold, there was the Jeep pulled up. One of the Vietnamese police hopped off and looked as if he was making his way down the hallway, down the laneway. And I thought, this is it. I'm as good as dead. I may overcome him, but the person down the other side, he was on a mounted machine gun. There was no way known I was going to get past them. No way. And that's when I leaned against the wall. I squatted and leaned back against the wall and said, God, I'm in your hands. That's exactly what I said. And all of a sudden I heard this whooshing sound, and all around me was this light. Pure gold light. I can't really describe it, but it had that energy of goodness, of love. And I don't mind telling this to anybody. If they want to ridicule me or anything like that, it's neither here nor there. It's time that, the truths have come out into this world and why we're here and what our purpose is and so on. And when I actually said that, it was all around me and everything, and I'm here now to keep talking to you, so I made it out of there. When I came back from Vietnam, I decided to join the Vietnam Vets Motorcycle Club. It was just a bike club, and then we got a little bit worse and decided to come, the baddies and all that. And eventually, it wasn't for me, nor for my mate Steve. I won't mention his last name. And I got invited to join the Freemasons, and I did, and rose through the ranks, became a worshipful master, most wise sovereign, and so on. And there was the rituals, and then there were spiritual aspect of Freemasonry that the whole time I was there wasn't touched upon. And I looked and I thought, well, is this it? Is it just the first, second degree, third degree, first, second, third degree, and so on? There must be more to it. The ritualistic aspect of it is quite nice to look at, and all it is when you pardon me, when you actually join, you do take your oath on the holy book, your holy book. You can take on the Quran, on the Torah, on the Bible, whatever book is yours, whatever religion is yours, you place your oath on that. Everything else, everything is based on Christianity and everything, but as time progressed, I don't believe in religion. It's a man-made invention. In the Bible, it says that, well, God is conditional in the Bible. He's wrathful, he's vengeful, he's hateful. The list is on. He turns nation against nation, likes the smell of burning flesh. He wants your children to be sacrificed to prove that you love him, like Abraham, for example, and Isaac. You know, bump your son off and show me that you love me. And Abraham was quite prepared to do that. In the very first sentence, it tells you straight out, in the beginning, which means time, God created the heavens, space, and earth, matter. The Bible that's been written was actually written by humans that were subservient. In other words, we were slaves from the beginning. Since the dawn of creation, we have been slaves. Since we became Homo sapiens sapiens, we became slaves. We are still slaves today. What, you don't think we are? Go outside and have a drink of beer, a can of beer, out in the open, and see what the police will do if they see you. Drop any paper in some of these places, you get charged with this. You get charged with that. You get charged with this, and then all of a sudden there's, oh, and enjoy your freedom. There's no such thing as freedom in the world. Never has been. Democracy, fascism, communism, all these different ideologies that actually separate man, separates us in order that we not regroup to know that there's something wrong. And what is it that's wrong? Because why do the few control the masses? It doesn't add up, does it? Now, as for where we came from, well, in Genesis, I think it's Genesis 6:4, 6:5, it states, the sons of God went to the daughters of humans. That's exactly how it's written. The sons of God went to the daughters of humans. And these daughters had men of might, the Nephilim, the Anakim. And the Anakim is a name that resounds in similarity with the name Anunnaki. And the Anunnaki were recorded by a race of people called the Sumerians. Sumer was a nation on itself, but it belonged, or for protection, to the Babylonian ideologies. And Babylon is the present-day Catholic Church. You don't have to say to me, oh, but you don't like Catholics? No, I like everybody. It doesn't bother me. If you're Christian, fine. But you don't want to shove things down my throat. Especially now that more and more is coming out into the open. The time is getting closer. The ones that created us are here as I talk right now. There's no joke about that. Now, they are the good ones and they are the bad ones. As above, so below. Which holy book did God write, you might say, for example? Which book did he write? Is your faith the number one faith? The Muslims actually think it is. Allah is it. Allah, Elohim, Shaddai, God, Bog, and you name it. It goes on. It actually has got 72 names. And 72 names actually alludes to the 72 established nations and all the smaller nations that exist and seek their protection. So 7 plus 2 is 9. The number of man is 9. One short of the perfect number. And perfection is number 10, which is 1, because 0 is not a number, or 1. We are all one. If you have a look at your belly button, we all have it. We all come from the same source, the one mother. We can have many fathers. There's many fathers that can have babies coming out of the one mother, but we only have one mother. And the Mother Earth is also Gaia. Now, everything since the last few years now, things have been going worse and worse and worse around the world. Plans have been put into action by evil-minded people. I can speak of a few past presidents. For example, the Bush, President Bush Jr., Senior, Junior, and it goes even further back. Some people refer to them as the generational witchcraft families. In other words, from generation to generation, there is the witchcraft, the demonology, and so on. And you don't have to believe in it, but obviously, if someone does acts that are not fruitful, well then obviously he's evil. If somebody does something that's good, he's good. That's how it goes. Well, for example, Iraq, when it was invaded, was under pretenses that they had actually nuclear arms and they were going to do this, they were going to do that, they were going to gas their people and all that. It didn't happen. It was a lie. All they wanted, all America wanted, was its oil. That's it, in a nutshell. And ever since then, people have been dying right across the world, in Afghanistan, in Iraq, in Libya, and now in Syria. They want to dispose of Syria. And there was a plan put in effect well before all these happened. And they actually mentioned the nations that will be destroyed. One way or another, they will be destroyed. So everyone is jockeying for position. Everyone is jockeying to see where will we end up. So, for example, NATO is the international force or the international police who acts on behalf of America. Does it protect people like it's supposed to protect them? No. No way. I can't recall any successful operations that they've done. And if they have, I'll stand to reason. For example, the Hutus and the Tutsis. The Hutus and the Tutsis were two different tribes in Africa. One was created by the Western powers to be superior to the other race. These were the Tutsis, and the Hutus. Well, the Tutsis were the superior race, as in wealth and power and so on. Well, the Hutus decided to enough's enough, and they went out and slaughtered the Tutsis. At least 1 million people were slaughtered. They were butchered, cut down to pieces. And there was this incident, and I was watching this video on YouTube, and there's these United Nations troops watching a woman about 200-300 yards away on the ground, lifting her arm up, seeking protection and blocking everything off, which she wasn't, because the machete was just coming down and again and again. And there's the United Nations forces did nothing. Not even one of them there didn't say, "Oh, stuff this, right you," and bang. You know, they were armed. Oh yeah, they were armed all right, but they are armed to protect themselves. To protect themselves. So that woman died. 1 million people died. In Kosovo, in Srebrenica, a safe enclave guarded by the Dutch NATO forces. Well, I was born in former Yugoslavia, in Croatia, but I'm Serbian. My parents are Serbian, I'm Serbian origin, right? As far as I'm concerned, humans are humans. But anyway, that's where I'm from, right? Serbia. Now, the Serbian troops actually got into Srebrenica, and Mladic walked over and he said, "Excuse me, move aside." Guess what? The United Nations troops that were meant to protect these people moved aside. Now, I don't know when the dancing and the singing and the drinking started with the United Nations troops and the Serb forces, but there were people taken away. Of that, there is no denying. As to how many, it was definitely not 7,000. No way. No way known. They haven't found these people. So NATO at the moment is the tool of the New World Order. It is the agenda of the New World Order. In America, there's major things happening. There's going throughout the world. FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agencies in America, are something like over 800 camps now. Also in Georgia, Atlanta, there's 500,000 plastic coffins. This person was driving past there and he looked and went, oh, they look like saunas or spas, yeah. And he walked home and says, oh, what are these? Are they spas, are they? And it goes, no, mate, they're plastic coffins. And he took off and just blew his brains out. So they are connected also. And also when I saw another video where there were trucks coming in. I'm not too sure if they were coming in from down south, Mexico, which more than likely would have been feasible. But anyway, they were entering American soil, and on the trucks were armoured personnel carriers with UN in big words written there. Now, you would say to yourself, now what would they be doing in America? They are training in America at the moment. They're training there to disarm the American population, the ones that have got legality, that are legalised to carry firearms. They want to disarm them. Some of these shootings that we had, school shootings and so on, some of those shootings were not real, did not happen. And there was proof of it when children were seen on various entertainment centres and so on, pardon me, and they were alive. These were supposed to be dead, they were alive. Crisis actors in America make a good living. Did you see the Boston bombing, for example? There's this person with both his legs at the knee, above the kneecap, right? Both legs off, which means the blood would have been just gushing out. He would have been more than likely dead within a matter of minutes. And so what happens? Oh, let me see now. He is being wheeled to an ambulance. And I'm like, whoa. Since when does the double amputee go to an ambulance? The ambulance comes to you. And he was paraded in front of the camera, I think twice, and then his stump fell, and one of the coppers lifted his stump up, the stump that was supposed to have been out to the bone, just cut down to the bone, and then he was wheeled away. There was no blood. There was no blood gushing out. There wasn't a drop of blood on him, not one drop of blood on him. And a few days later, he went over to see the, quote, real victims, and guess what? He lost his legs in Afghanistan. He was a double amputee who lost his legs in Afghanistan. He was a crisis actor. You can see what the American government is doing at the moment. And it's not only the American government, there's also the governments that are in cahoots. There are people throughout the world that are called generational witchcraft families. They know each other, they have been congregating together, and they have been on top of the human race at all costs. They have to maintain the purity of their blood. That's what it's about. You won't see a commoner marry into royalty. What, Princess Kate? No, she's not a commoner. She's related. Diana, she was also related. She was a blue blood. There's a hit list at the moment on an American agenda, One World Order American agenda, and the hit list is red, blue, and yellow categories. In other words, the red list is the ones that are the professionals, the intellectuals, the would-be troublemakers, the one that will not go away without a fight. Well, they will be taken away. The New World Order is actually being implemented as I speak now. It will be continued, and it has to be stopped. It's as simple as that. Now, the red list will more than likely be taken away before it's even finished or completed. You'll wake up and go, oh shit, where's Fred gone? He's gone, that's it. The blue list are the ones that are sympathisers to the red list. And then there's the yellow list. Well, the yellow list will just microchip them. Let me see what it's called, a microchip. I haven't got it at the moment. So the yellow lists are deemed not to be dangerous, and they will be microchipped. and their every move will be monitored, and they're subject to be eliminated also at any time that they become a threat to the New World Order. And the microchip will be put between the thumb, the big thumb, and the first finger of each hand in the flesh. It has everything in there that they need to know about you. In other words, you're sheep. You can roam wherever you want to roam. You won't be corralled or anything, but don't know your every move. You go into town these days, and what do you see? All these cameras all over the place. You go in there, and if you last a day in America, for example, you can be filmed 200 times just in a one day. Are you a criminal? No, I'm not a criminal. Well, who's given them authority to film you? You're not a criminal. Why should you be filmed? Well, sorry, but you are. You are being filmed. It's as simple as that. We are being indoctrinated into a totalitarian collective New World Order. In other words, the New World Order will be global communism. Global communism. Communism and so on, all these wonderful, exciting adventures where men wanted to be liberated and he wanted to be free and he wanted a one world communism to go ahead, and it was so grand and all that. The ones that actually went out to do it were rich people. They were funded. They were funded to be troublemakers, to separate camps and so on. There's only one world rule at the moment, and it's the only one world rule that will stay whilst religion is still alive, and it's called the politico-religio rule. Politics and religion are like that. They'll say to you, no, it's not. That's a lie. Okay. The state of the New World Order will attack the church, will attack families, will attack the economy, will attack schools and the media. They will indoctrinate. Our children at the moment, for total control, our children at the moment, if you look at it, how do they get rewarded? What is that encourages them to perform well at school and so on, right? They will be rewarded in materialism. They will be rewarded with cars and houses and well-paying jobs, and you can go on holidays and everything. Well, fine. I don't see really that much wrong with it. But when they shove that down your throat, right, and you please the body has got emotions and senses and everything attached to it, but these emotions and senses don't come from the body. They come from within the body that is protected by what makes us tick. And what makes us tick? It's our soul. Your soul, my soul, will never be destroyed. Never be destroyed by anybody. In the Declaration of Independence, for example, in America, the word equal was used. In the Declaration of Independence, there was a big talk, and yep, equal. In the American Constitution, it does not exist. The word equality does not exist in the American Constitution. When the Bible was created, so was the New World Order plan put into action. We are bombarded with propaganda, and our survival is threatened on a daily basis. The UN has plans to create a wilderness area, meaning that America's map is being quietly restructured to create large areas where no humans or no human activity will be tolerated, because they will more than likely end up being burial grounds as well for the 500,000 coffins that I was speaking of. The plan is called the Rewilding Project. Rewildin. Rewilding Project. And apparently, former President Clinton continues to carry out this plan quietly by the executive order. By implementing the executive order, or what they call the Patriot Act as well, the president is able to bypass the American Constitution. He can say, excuse me, shove that aside, it's a time of danger and so on, and I will implement the executive order or the Patriot Act. So that has been used before as well. There will be many resistors of the New World Order, and under the New World Order martial law, they will be terminated. Hence the FEMA camps, Federal Emergency Management Agencies, and these Federal emergency agencies will be more than likely death camps. The salvation of our world will come, from my perspective, from the aliens that created us. We were slaves. The scientists could not explain the 70,000 years of the Cro-Magnon or Homo erectus man coming to a sudden stop, and then nothing, and all of a sudden, bang, the Homo sapien man, twice as intelligent, aware of the self for the first time. Awareness came into being. This is why we are the superior race around the world at the moment, is because we are aware of the self. And what have we been doing since then? Killing each other because of the lies that have been given to us. Pure lies. However, I think that they will save mankind because the world is their planet. It's not our planet. We are just temporary visitors, and then we move to the next realm of existence, which means we'll leave the body behind. The body belongs to Earth. It's a dense matter Earth. We have a dense body. The soul that we have travels into eternity. It never, ever, ever dies. It cannot die. You don't see it. You don't see my soul. I don't see your soul. But if I was to cut your head open surgically as a surgeon, right, and see the brain is what makes the body function, correct? No, sorry, your mind does that. And having said that, your mind is not your mind. It's temporarily yours, because when you talk with someone, you interact momentarily, so the mind of everything that's around you, that floats around, all ideas and thoughts and everything like that, you stop momentarily and exchange your thoughts with a certain person, and then it wanders off. Reality here, you might say, okay, this is reality, is it? I didn't build the computer that I'm talking to now. I've contributed my 2 books, the Alien Revelation, they're here, and the second one is called the Cosmic Research. But apart from that, you look around and you go, well, what's going on? I mean, tables belong to trees. Trees make money. Metal makes money. And are they worth anything? The paper isn't worth nothing. But you put a picture of a king or queen on it, whoops, there we go. And you work for that more than likely your entire life, unless you win something. And you think, well, I've got everything I want. I've got my house, I've got my car, and I've got my job, and I'm not going to be a shit stirrer. Well, that's fine. But you know what? Then it means you're sitting on a fence. You know that you're immortal. Okay, I'll just sit here and I won't do nothing. Well, there is a universal law. If you are a person that has good intentions, you should reach out to any people that you can. Even if you reach just the one person in your entire life and you transform that person to a better person, that means you will have done your job. And now let me see, salvation by the Lord, yes, this world is their planet. The Anunnaki are here again. They were the so-called Anakim in the Bible. Zecharia Sitchin, he was the one that actually coded all these Sumerian clay tablets, and this was proof. In the Bible there is no proof of things that have happened. It was based on faith. The Sumerians had recorded histories on their clay tablets that are now housed throughout the world. And there's one clay tablet that stands out amongst a lot of them. And there's a tall alien, human, hybrid, with a plough, and he's holding it down, and there's a man about as high as his waist, or maybe a little bit higher, reaching up to grab the plough. That means you are no longer a hunter-gatherer. You are now a cultivator. You will work on this land. You will grow food on this land. You will protect this land. And if need be, you will die on this land. You're no longer a hunter-gatherer. So, actually, I'm thankful that I'm not rich, because we people can do so much that the rich can't do. Here we are, everyone's seeking money, wealth, and all that. But I mean, when the time comes and you are about to pass away, the people that have got all the wealth that they can have will be screaming, my money, my wealth. How can I keep it? I want to keep it. I want to keep it. No. When you come into the world, your hands are clenched. See? Clenched like that. And when you go out, they open up. Your hands are completely open. They are open because then you're saying, that's it. This is the end of my journey, and everything that I've achieved, everything that I've done in respect to materialism, which is fine to a degree, I've left behind. Okay, up you get. That's it. So, in this 21st century, the generation witchcraft families actually want us to still be serfs. They want us to be serfs. Well, no. In a would-be world of global communism, we have to wake up. And by waking up, I mean we have to open our eyes before it's too late. Okay, folks, I'll catch you later.